check your phone 144 times today, you'll have 6,200 thoughts per hour, and 95% of those thoughts are the exact same ones you had yesterday. You're not living your life. You're rewinding the same mental tape over and over like a prisoner who forgot they hold the key to their own cell. What if there's a hidden switch in your brain that most people never find? It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling, replaying that conversation from 6 months ago. Your brain is keeping you trapped in a highlight reel of your worst moments. But that voice in your head? It isn't you. It's a security system gone rogue. Your brain evolved to keep you alive when a rustling bush might be a predator. Now it treats your boss's email like a saber-toothed tiger. Every day you're running from threats that exist only in your imagination. You're living in a mental prison where the guards are your own thoughts. Right now, notice what your mind is doing. It's probably judging these words, planning your next task, or reminding you of something you forgot. You think you're in control, but you're being controlled by mental patterns installed when you were 5 years old. Here's a test. For the next 10 seconds, try not to think of a pink elephant. You can't. Your mind just created the exact image you were trying to avoid. If you can't control something as simple as a pink elephant, how can you control your happiness or your future? Imagine having a roommate who never stops talking. They criticize everything you do, remind you of every mistake you've made, and predict disaster around every corner. You'd kick them out immediately. But you can't kick out your inner critic because it lives inside your head. This roommate convinced you that their voice is your voice. They made you believe that overthinking is caring, that anxiety is preparation, and that self-doubt is humility. The most successful people in the world learned to fire this roommate. In 1971, Stanford University ran an experiment that had to be stopped after 6 days because it was too brutal. Students assigned as guards became sadistic. Students assigned as prisoners became helpless and depressed. You're running the same experiment in your head every single day. You assigned yourself the role of prisoner, and your thoughts are the guards. Every time you think, I can't, or I'm not good enough, you're reinforcing your own mental prison. The guards get stronger, the prisoner gets weaker. But unlike those Stanford students, you have the power to end the experiment. Navy SEALs have a 40% rule. When your mind tells you you're done, you're only 40% done. Your brain lies about your limits because it's trying to protect you from discomfort. The SEALs discovered the magic happens in the other 60%. Every time you push past what your mind says is possible, you're breaking down the walls of your mental prison. You're proving that the voice in your head isn't the authority it pretends to be. The question isn't whether you can do it. The question is, will you give yourself permission to try? The Japanese practice mental Aikido. Instead of fighting negative thoughts, you redirect their energy. When your mind says, I'm going to fail, you don't argue. You don't try to think positive. Instead, you ask, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? When anxiety whispers, what if everything goes wrong? You respond with, what if everything goes right? You're not changing what you think. You're changing how you think. You're turning your mind from an opponent into an ally. Want to experience freedom right now? Take a deep breath. Instead of trying to stop your thoughts, start labeling them. Worry thought, planning thought, judging thought. Don't engage with them. Just label them like a scientist observing specimens. The moment you start observing your thoughts, they lose their power over you. You've stepped outside your mental prison and looked at it from the outside. That observer? That's the real you. That's who you've been all along. Every morning, Jeff Bezos asks himself one question that made him billions. How do I maximize long-term value? But he's not talking about money. He's talking about his mental state. Most people wake up and immediately check their phones, feeding their brains stress hormones and other people's priorities. What if you started your day by choosing your first thought instead of letting your first thought choose you? Try this tomorrow. Before you reach for your phone, ask yourself, what would make today meaningful? Your mind will try to pull you back to your usual patterns, but for that moment, you're the one in charge. Right now, there's a parallel version of you living a completely different life. Same brain, same history, same challenges. The only difference? They learn to question the voice in their head instead of obeying it. While you're paralyzed by, what if I'm not smart enough, they're asking, what if I am? While you're stuck in, I don't have time, they're discovering, what could I make time for? They're living in the same world as you, but they're free because they realize something you're about to realize. Your thoughts are not facts. Your fears are not prophecies. Your past is not your prison sentence. You have a choice right now. You can close this video and go back to being a prisoner of your own mind, or you can start your escape. It won't be easy. Your mental guards will fight back. They'll tell you it's impossible, that you're not strong enough, that you should wait until tomorrow. But every single person who ever broke free started exactly where you are right now. They weren't special. They weren't lucky. They just decided that freedom was worth fighting for. The door to your prison has been unlocked this entire time. You just needed someone to show you where the handle was. Are you ready to walk through it?